Ms. Rayburn is on mute.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Hattiesburg Public School District Tiger Connect sessions, which are designed to provide information and resources to strengthen our home and school connections to support our students' success. You can join us, our Tiger Connect, on Tuesdays from March to May through the times from at Tuesday at 12 p.m. live Zoom and our 6 o'clock p.m. YouTube post. At this time, our session on today will be the Parent and School Partnership Individualized Education Plan. I turn it over to Ms. Howard.
Good afternoon. Thank you guys so much for being here with us today during your lunch breaks. Today, our Office of Exceptional Children team will just share some things with you concerning special education, gifted services, as well as our health services in our department. Our mission and vision for Hattiesburg Public School District, our mission is for the Hattiesburg Public School District is to educate students to become productive citizens of a dynamic global community. The vision is a model teaching and learning community that graduates productive citizens who are prepared to succeed. Our goals are academic success, community support and engagement, safe and orderly schools, as well as fiscal accountability. Our agenda for today, I'll give you an introduction of our department and our programs. We'll also discuss child find, transition services, and interventions. As I stated prior, we cover 3 areas in the Office of Exceptional Children. We cover special education, gifted education, as well as health services. Our department staff, myself, Kiana Howard, I'm the Exceptional Children Director. Our district case manager, April Young. Administrative assistant, Ms. Manette Fairley. We have 2 psychometrists, Kimberly Miller and Takara Causey. We have a gifted lead teacher, Elvira Diemport, and 2 school nurses across the district, LaShonda Champagne and Erin Ganawak. So are you concerned about your child's speech, learning, behavior, or your child's development? I'll let April Young, our district case manager, will go into, Takara Causey will come and share some information concerning this if you have concerns.
Hello, I'm Takara Causey. I'm one of the psychometrists here for Hattiesburg Public. The meaning of child find is to identify, locate, and evaluate all children with suspected disabilities who may be referred, any child that is enrolled in Hattiesburg Public School District, in addition to any students who are referred 0 to 3 years old through First Steps as well. Our efforts to identify children with disabilities, we utilize the MTSS process tremendously to identify those children. We also accept parent requests as well as teacher administrators and anyone in the school building who they feel is in their classroom that has a disability. What we do is they contact the child find coordinator at the particular school, and the next slide will show you each contact for each school. So if you are concerned that your child may have a disability, you contact these particular people, and what they will do is they will initiate the process. What happens after referral is made, the child find coordinator will send you a 7-day notice telling you what day and time the meeting will be. We will meet within 14 days. That's our timeline. And what we'll do within that time is we'll collect all the data that will help us determine if we have sufficient data to support a comprehensive evaluation. And that may include some of the I-rated diagnostics, grades, any medical reports, anything that we can find that will help us assist in making that decision. Parental consent is important. We only obtain consent when we feel that there is a need to continue on with the evaluation. a prior written notice. You'll receive that. That details everything that we discussed in the meeting. Eligibility. After securing the informed written consent to conduct the evaluation, we have 60 days to complete the evaluation. At the end of the evaluation, you'll receive a copy of the report, a 7-day notice, noticing you of the day and time of the meeting, and we always meet within 14 days. During the eligibility meeting, we'll discuss the report and the assessments in detail, and we will determine if we have sufficient data to support a disability under MDE eligibility requirements. These are the 13 categories that are recognized by MDE. They have different eligibility criteria, but what is consistent amongst all 13 disabilities is that they all have to have an adverse impact of your child's education. So that's consistent amongst all of them. And this is just a synopsis. It's an MDE form. You can find it on the MDE website of everything that I've just went over.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to go over interventions. I am Kimberly Miller. I'm one of the psychometrists in our office. So a lot of times our parents want to know what are interventions and when will my child be offered interventions. So interventions are a part of the MTSS process, which is multi-tiered system of supports. The goals are focused on improving the academic and behavior outcomes for students. So our students can be placed on MTSS for academic reasons or behavior reasons. So we have adopted already as the universal screener at our K-8 schools. When students drop below the 35th percentile on any universal screener, it is recommended for that student to be placed on MTSS at either Tier 2 or Tier 3. Students that need behavior interventions are referred once their behavior has started to have a negative impact on their educational progress. So the 3-tier instructional model is a part of the State Board Policy 41.1. So at Tier 1, this is basically what all students are getting in the classroom. All students should be getting quality classroom instruction based on Mississippi standards. Tier 2 is when an educator or teacher realizes that a student is falling behind or missing some skills, and they put in some focused supplemental instructional interventions to help that child catch up. And then Tier 3, that's when we put in intensive research-based interventions, and they're specifically designed to the needs of the students. Tier 3 usually also involves pulling a student out of their classroom, and the tutoring service is provided by someone other than the child's teacher. So these are just some resources for parents. The first website, that is actually the intervention website for MDE. They have a lot of great resources for parents and some different things that you can also do at home. And then there's also some federal intervention resources from the federal government. That's the second website. But anyway, those are just some websites, some resources for parents if you wanted to research further. Okay, screeners. Okay. Are we going through these? I didn't even see these. So screeners. So we actually do gifted screeners and speech language screeners. Our gifted screeners, we usually do those at 2 different grade levels, at 1st grade and 3rd grade. That is administered to all students to give all students the chance to be tested for gifted services. And then our speech language screeners, those are also administered to all students. And those, I believe those are our grades, kindergarten and 1st grade. We give those to students to see if there are any language or speech deficits that need to be addressed.
Good afternoon. My name is April Young. I'm the district case manager for Hattiesburg Public School District. And what I'll be talking about is pretty much those transition services for some of the students in our district, mainly our secondary students to begin transitioning into post-secondary. So what are transition services? Transition services are defined as a set of coordinated activities focused on improving the academic and functional achievement of children with a disability to facilitate the child's moving from secondary education to post-secondary activities. And that may include anything from moving to the educational setting to workforce and things of that nature. Transition by the age of 14, state board policy requires that school districts determine each child's post-secondary goals in the areas of employment, education or training, and independent living when appropriate. Okay. Those present levels of performance and areas of improvement are determined by age-appropriate transition assessments. In those particular areas, the post-secondary goals are derived from areas of need outlined in the transition assessments and are individualized and based on the needs of the individual student. So of course, there's a step process in the transition planning. So that first step is getting those measurable post-secondary goals. And we do that by administering those age-appropriate transition assessments in the areas of training or in education, employment, and independent living skills. And those are where appropriate, mostly for some of our students with significant cognitive disabilities, or for some of those other students who we deem may be appropriate for those independent living skills. The second step there is to look at the present levels of academic achievement and functional performance for those students. Then moving into the transition services, and those may include courses of study, instruction, related services, community experiences, employment, and other post-secondary adult living objectives. And when appropriate, also those daily living skills and functional or vocational evaluations. And step 3 is us developing those measurable annual goals. And we typically do those through the student's individualized education plan. So we do those at the IEP meetings, develop those measurable annual goals. So to help those students better assess those. Okay. HPSD provides a variety of high quality educational opportunities to meet the diverse needs of our special needs population of students. HPSD partners with the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services and several community organizations to provide a variety of vocational and transitional services for students with disabilities. And that's all in the attempt of helping the student reach those transition goals. Okay. So some of the things that we do, some of those transition services is providing those school visits for those students transitioning from one campus to another so that they have the opportunity to tour the new campuses to aid in the transition process. There may be students moving up from the middle school to the high school, from elementary to middle, and things of that nature. HPSD secondary transition, we have an HPSD secondary transition teacher, and she has done such things as we work on those annual transition fairs for students and parents of students with disabilities, the Work Olympics to give those students some workforce training on the campuses, the Tiger Cafe, and inclusion activities as well. We partner with the USM Institute for Disability Studies to provide technical assistance and training, resources and supports for students with disabilities and their families. We also partner with the Mississippi State University Extension Program and Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services, and Voc Rehab. And we have in helping our students facilitate a transition to Pine Belt Industries, our Project Search, and MDRS transition and youth counselors to aid in the job placement of our students with disabilities.
April, could you go into more detail about the Project Search program?
Yes, our Project Search program is a partnership with Forest General Hospital, and our students, typically in their last year, our SED population of students, those are those students with significant cognitive disabilities. What it is a partnership with Forest General Hospital to provide some vocational training, on-the-job training that goes beyond what we can do within the traditional high school setting. So those students have rotations in which they participate in on-the-job training. It may be respiratory, patient transport, the cafeteria, a host of different vocational skills and things, like I said, that go beyond what we can do within the classroom. Okay. So some of the guiding questions that parents can ask their child in order to prepare them for transition is, what is the child wanting to do with his or her life? What are his or her dreams or aspirations and goals? What are their needs, abilities, and skills? And that just helps the student advocate for themselves. And what outcomes do the youth parents want? Some other guiding questions to ask as you prepare your child for transition are, what are the program, services, accommodations, and or modifications that the child may want or need? What kinds of accommodations will the student need when they go on to a higher education or employment? And what are the community-based training opportunities that the school can provide? And at this time, we'll just open it up for questions or comments or concerns from anyone.
And ultimately, if there are any questions or concerns as a parent or guardian of a student that you feel may have a disability, or any additional questions that you have about our gifted services, any of our screeners, or any support services that we provide here in Hattiesburg Public School District, feel free to contact me. My office phone is on the slide, 601-582-5078. And also you can reach me by email. This concludes our presentation for the Office of Exceptional Children.
Thank you so much for providing us with that great information. To our parents. Parents, we thank you so much for joining us during your lunch hour to learn a lot of great information. We would like for you to join us on next Tuesday, March the 30th, to learn about ACT parent and student tips. So if you have any students that are planning on taking the ACT and need some tips, this will be a great opportunity to join in. You can join us next Tuesday via Zoom at 12 o'clock and 6 p.m. on our YouTube post. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you on next Tuesday. Have a great day.